John Wick, Chapter 4. In New York City, John Wick plans to correct retaliation against the High Table while concealing underground with the Bowery Lord. He goes to Morocco and kills the senior, the person who sits over the table. Accordingly, the Marquis Vincent de Graymont, a High Table part, calls New York mainland lodging chief Winston and his attendant, Sharon. The Marquis makes sense of that the High Table has given him limitless assets to kill John Wick. He chides Winston for neglecting to kill John. As discipline, the Marquis strips Winston of his administrative obligations, pronounces him excommunicado, obliterates the mainland, and executes Sharon. The Marquis then, at that point, enrolls Kane, a visually impaired, resigned High Table professional killer, to kill his close buddy, John, taking steps to kill Kane's little girl in any case. John takes asylum at the Osaka mainland, show to his companion Shimazu Koji. The Marquis' second-in-order Chitty, upheld by High Table professional killers and Kane, shows up to examine the inn. Koji's girl Akira, the lodgings attendant, empties the inn not long before the High Table deconsecrates it, lighting a skirmish when Koji and his men come to John's safeguard. John battles through influxes of protected professional killers, prompting a confrontation against Kane. Mr. No One, an abundance tracker, intrudes on their battle and works with John's departure subsequent to deciding the abundance for killing John to be deficient. An injured Koji over and over assaults Kane for John's sake. Kane hesitantly kills Koji and saves Akira. John gets back to New York and meets with a vindictive Winston at Karen's gravesite. Winston encourages John to summon an old High Table custom to move the Marquis to a duel. Winning would free John, all things considered, to the High Table, however he can demand a duel for the benefit of a wrongdoing family. He goes to the Berlin Central Command of the Ruska Roma criminal organization, with whom he had cut off ties, to demand readmission. His receptive sister Katia specifies that for readmission, John should kill Killa Harkan, a High Table part who killed her dad. John stands up to Killa at his club. Kane and Mr. No One help John against Killa's colleagues. When a battle breaks out, John at last kills Killa and recovers his status. Winston transfers John's proper test to the Marquis. Going about as John's second, Winston demands that the New York mainland be reconstructed, with him re-established as chief, should John win. In Paris, John and the Marquis settle on the duel's boundaries, dueling guns on the accompanying dawn at Sacré-Cœur in a gathering directed by the Harbinger, the table's messenger. The Marquis selects a hesitant Kane to have his spot. John and Winston will be executed ought to either neglect to show up on time. The Bowery Lord shows up in Paris to give John a gun and another ballistic suit. The Marquis plans to keep John from showing up at the duel in time by putting a $26 million abundance on him. John wards off crowds of professional killers while heading to Sacré-Cœur, including Mr. No One, who arranges an abundance increment to $40 million. During their showdown, John keeps Chitty from killing Mr. No One's canine, causing a shocked Mr. No One to leave his quest for John. After Kane and Mr. No One help John in fending off a few professional killers, including Chitty, whom Mr. No One kills on the Lament Foyetier, they arrive at the culmination with perfect timing for the duel. John and Kane twisted each other through 2 rounds of dueling. The third round stops when Kane seriously wounds John. Requesting the option to oversee the death blow, the Marquis enthusiastically trades places with Kane. Winston rebukes the Marquis for his self-importance, uncovering that John has not yet shot his third projectile. John shoots and eliminates the Marquis. The Harbinger awards Kane and John their independence from the High Table, and Winston is re-established. In the wake of imploding on the flight of stairs, John reflects upon his life and marriage prior to surrendering to his wounds. In a little while, back in New York, Winston and the Bowery Lord bid goodbye to John at his grave, situated close to that of his late spouse Helen. In a post-credits scene, Kane gets back to Paris to rejoin with his little girl, however, is drawn nearer by the vindictive Akira, who waves a blade.